A manager said this to me last week when we were talking about one of their best people. Honestly, he's doing great. Never bothers me with dumb questions. He just knows what needs done and he does it. Now, that manager even said it to me with some element of pride and even a little relief. See, from the manager's point of view, he didn't need to worry about drama or constant check-ins or any type of hand-holding. Just great output. And in that moment, most leaders would hear that and think, good, that's exactly what I would want too. But there's more to it than that, because in most businesses, the people who get the most attention are the ones who are struggling or they lack the drive of the high performers. In other words, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Now let's break this down. The struggling sales rep gets the extra one-to-one coaching with the sales leader. A weaker manager, well, they get the intensive coaching plan, but only after they've struggled for months. The underperforming department, well, they have an offsite so they can regroup. And the high performers, they get left alone. Now that sounds maybe a little logical to you, because if someone is performing well, why would you need to divert extra time to them? Don't you need to focus where the problems are? But there's a flaw in that thinking, and the sports world is actually a great place to highlight the difference. Now, I love college football, as many of you do probably as well. And maybe some of you played at the college level and you understand this far better and at an entirely different level than the rest of us who are just basic fans. The starting quarterback. This person spends hours in intense film studies with their coaches. In the NBA, the star player works with their position coach to continue elevating their performance so that they can gain the slightest edge over their opponent. The elite golfer, well, they study and practice the precise mechanics of their swing so that they can gain more distance and accuracy on the course. Now, don't miss this. The best players, they get more coaching, not less, because the return on improvement is so high. And the investment in them is also really high. But in business, we tend to do the opposite. We assume that if someone is performing well, they're fine. So our time shifts toward the rep who's missing quota, or the manager who's been inconsistent, or the department that just lags behind all the time. We step in where we're needed, where there's more noise, more tension. And that feels responsible, but strategically, it's kind of upside down. High performers are not maintenance-free assets. They are force multipliers. And when they improve even slightly, the impact ripples across teams and it impacts revenue. See, when they don't improve, the company still moves, but it moves at a pace that's slower than it could or should. And there's also an identity layer here that founders don't always see. High performers, they want to be pushed. They don't want to be left alone because they're competent. They want someone who sees their edge and sharpens it. They want a standard that rises with them. And when that pressure disappears, they don't usually protest. They kind of plateau quietly, or they go find a place where someone will stretch them again. And this is where the squeaky wheel model becomes very expensive. Because if coaching and mentoring in your company are triggered primarily by underperformance, then development is reactive by design. That structure will always pull your energy and performance downward. And this is what wise leaders know. Companies grow in the direction that leadership flows. So if you want growth, you need a system that doesn't ignore your high performers. They crave accountability. They tend to thrive when they have forward-looking goals. And they're comfortable with conversations about their progress because they're capable and driven. So here's the action for you. This week, don't schedule another meeting with your lowest performer. Schedule a focused conversation with your highest performer. Not to praise them, not to try and stretch them. Just ask them one simple but really powerful question. What's the next level of performance you're capable of that we haven't tapped into yet? Then sit back and listen. Because if you redirect even a fraction of your leadership energy upward, you'll find that growth starts to feel easier. Things don't feel so difficult. And that's not an accident. That's structural. And that's how you leave it better.